Supreme Court ruled constitutional, so you said you were right. Did you lose? Or did I misunderstand what you're saying?
Well, the constitutionality was upheld. However, we were sold on the idea that this was not a tax. And so this is a tax. It goes back to the state, which is where if you have socialized medicine, regardless if it's on the federal level or on the state level, it's the state's rights to do that. And so it actually brings it, we are right, because it brings it back to the states to be in charge of their health.
So you didn't lose to that?
What's that?
You didn't lose to that?
Well, I think that we didn't lose because the battle still goes on. I mean, did it turn out the way that I wanted it to? No, it didn't. But it brings it back to the legislators. It allows them to be put on record, and it violates the current commerce laws.
So, just to make clear, when you guys or you folks talk about wanting people to take a stand, what happens if, or is anybody suggesting that we should defy the federal government?
I'm personally saying, I mean, each legislator can speak for themselves. I'm saying that our state should not comply because one, it's going to be our state right to do so. We can opt out, and so my opinion would be for us to not comply with it, to not collect that tax and raise tax on our citizens. Yes.
I apologize for another issue, but could you say your first plan of action after this decision?
Well, I think one is kind of the all. It's up to whether or not you see every person that's running for elected office in Arkansas if federal issues relate to state. In this case, we see that it does. And so I think every state legislator, every person that runs for executive office or constitutional office should be put on record of how they feel. How are they going to handle this going forward?
So you're saying the state should not participate in expanding Medicaid. What about the other parts like this, the insurance exchange? Should the state apply to federal government on the insurance exchange?
Well, we see today that we spent, and many of the people who are standing here today tried to block that, and they successfully blocked it during session. However, the insurance exchange hasn't been able to get the ball rolling on that, and our state is spending millions of dollars unnecessarily. And so we can see that by this ruling that if they cannot force us to participate, that was a waste of money, waste of taxpayer dollars.
In response to a good portion, a good reason for the exchange existing is for Medicaid expansion. People will go on to an exchange and determine their eligibility. If we're not going to participate in the Medicaid expansion, then is there a need for an exchange? Private insurers, there can be also, we're all for some type of marketplace where people go and shop for private insurers. That doesn't require a government-run exchange to do that. So I don't know the answer to your question, to be honest with you. But the point is we have questions that we don't know the answer to, and we've got to get an answer before we're going to agree. Now, we're a minority, so they can continue on as they have so far, and all we can do is ask questions. But we hope that, given the fact that the Supreme Court has laid it in our lap, that our agency directors will choose to respond to those questions, and not just to us, but to the people of Arkansas, before they choose to move forward. And so, answer what's the next step? The next step is to get into committee meetings and begin to ask these questions and get answers, and get that information disseminated to the people of Arkansas and our constituents.